Imagine that you are embarking on an endless journey. The earth's soil beneath your feet, the blue sky above your head, and countless paths ahead that will take you somewhere. But what if you never stop? What if you keep moving continuously? Crossing continents, touching the edges of oceans, searching for just one question: where does the end of the earth lie? Is there a wall there or a chasm that will stop you, or will your journey never end? For us, this question is just a matter of imagination, but this is not just a traveler's question or a product of our imagination. Rather, it's a question for every person who wants to explore the boundaries of this blue planet. And today, we are about to embark on just such a mysterious journey where, as we touch the edges of the earth, we'll find that the end is just an illusion, but the mystery behind it is infinite. So let's begin this mysterious journey. The Earth is a spherical planet, a huge ball that keeps spinning in space. If you set out to travel on Earth by foot or by car, theoretically, there is no end to it. Of course, if you keep walking, you'll go from its North Pole to the South Pole, or you'll just keep circling around its equator. And in the end, you'll come back to the same point where you started. But in reality, there are many places on Earth that give us the feeling that the Earth has an end. It feels as if everything ahead has ended. Your path has reached the final stage of infinity. It is at a high point. According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration, about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. That's why when you reach the edge of the continents, it feels as if the world has come to a standstill there. But this is not the end. Rather, it's the beginning of a new journey. Even so, our human imagination has given some places the title of the end of the Earth. These places are geographically at the edge of the Earth where roads or paths come to an end. And these places really make us feel like we're in a different world. The roads are narrow. It's dark all around. It's winter in Antarctica where the air is so cold that even your breath freezes. If you keep walking, you'll eventually reach a road that's the northernmost road in Europe. This is E69. This 129-kilometer long road starts from Oldefjord and goes all the way to Nordkapp. The British Broadcasting Corporation says this is the world's northernmost highway. When you reach there, it feels like you've reached the end of the earth. There are 5 tunnels on the road cutting through the mountains. And finally, there's a Golden Globe monument that says End of Europe. But is this really the end? No. Nordkapp is located at 71 degrees north latitude, and from here you can see the Barents Sea, which is part of the Arctic Ocean. National Aeronautics and Space Administration imagery shows that icy cliffs descend into the seas here. But further north, Greenland and Iceland are also present. But still, in winter, because of the midnight sun or polar night, these places start to feel almost magical. While driving on the highway, you have to keep your speed low because the winds here blow very strongly. Scientists have set up several stations here for field studies. Because being close to the North Pole, the compass starts to behave strangely here. To study this, many stations have been set up here. Traveling on Highway E69 is a cinematic experience. Imagine you're driving and beside you the Aurora Borealis is dancing. The situation during the day is such that it will be night for months. And if you look far away, everything seems small compared to the vastness of the endless ocean. But when you reach the end, you realize that this is not the end, but rather a new beginning. If you go further by boat, a whole new world of Antarctica opens up. This place often attracts people because here it feels as if the earth has come to an end. Now, even if this isn't really the end of the earth, Highway E69 definitely gives us the feeling of reaching the edge of the world. Similarly, at South America's tip in Argentina is the city of Ushuaia. This is the southernmost city in the world. At 54 degrees south latitude, coming here feels like we are standing at the edge of the earth. The city's signboard says Fin del Mundo, which means the end of the world. Ushuaia is actually the capital of Tierra del Fuego province, from where the journey to Antarctica begins. Here, there are forests, mountains as big as the Himalayas, and the Beagle Channel, which separates the sea. If you keep walking in Ushuaia, the roads eventually end at the seashore. From here, you can see the Magellan Strait, where the waves are so strong, it seems the land has sunk into the water. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's satellite data shows that the plasma activity of the Earth is quite high here. Because the ozone layer near the South Pole is thin. Scientists also study climate change here because the Southern Ocean affects global warming. These places force us to look beyond our small world. Unlike Highway E69, the weather here is a mix of heat and cold, but both places create the illusion of the end of the Earth. Let's now measure the end of the Earth upwards. Of course, it's not possible to walk there on foot. Instead, we'll have to fly. After all, where's the upper end of the Earth? Is it the atmosphere? According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration and European Space Agency, the Earth's atmosphere is divided into several layers. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Airplanes can't fly there. To stay in orbit, the velocity must be 7.8 kilometers per second. Fédération Aéronautique Internationale defines this as the start of space. And here you can assume that the end of our Earth happens. But this is an end that you can't even see with your own eyes. Actually, this isn't a physical boundary that you can gaze at. As you go higher, first you'll see clouds, then the blue sky will get deeper, darker, and become infinite. Beyond this end of the Earth is the vacuum of space, where satellites orbit, and the International Space Station also revolves above this altitude. The end of Earth's atmosphere protects the Earth from space. But what a coincidence it is that what we actually consider the end of the Earth, we can't even see it. And the edges of the Earth that we see while living on Earth are actually just an illusion. But the Earth's true end is in space. Similarly, if we talk about the solar system, the heliosphere, which is a large bubble surrounded by the sun's hot wind, is considered the end of the solar system. Voyager 1 crossed this in 2012 and entered interstellar space, so that was the end of our solar system. But there are many different opinions about this as well. But for Earth, we generally consider the Kármán line as the final edge of our planet because after this, space begins. This is a decision we've made ourselves. If we talk about Earth's atmosphere, even after the Kármán line, Earth's atmosphere doesn't end. Its actual edge is the exosphere above its surface, which extends up to about 10,000 kilometers above the surface, but it is very thin. Beyond this is the magnetosphere, which blocks the solar winds. If we go even higher, there are the Van Allen radiation belts, where charged particles are trapped. And then there's the vacuum of space. But even after this, if you look at it, the Earth never really ends. Its gravity keeps us bound for a long distance. In the future, if we go to Mars, the Earth will appear as a tiny dot from far away. But even there, science can still feel the gravity of our Earth. All this forces us to think and wonder where its end actually lies. Have you ever thought about that dark, unknown world hidden thousands of kilometers deep beneath our feet? On August 26, 1883, when the Krakatau volcano in Indonesia erupted with its inner fire, its roar was heard up to about 5,000 kilometers away. The waves of the sea rose up to 40 meters high, causing devastation, and more than 36,000 people disappeared in that destruction. But was that explosion just a story of the volcano's surface, or was its source hidden deep within the mysterious core of our Earth? Today, we take you on a journey where science and mystery collide with each other. This is the story of the Earth's core, that unseen, unknown center which controls the heartbeat and every activity of our planet. But be careful, today's journey is not an ordinary story. Rather, it's a whirlpool of those unsolved questions that have puzzled scientists for centuries. So get ready, because today we're about to take a deep dive into Earth's deepest mysteries, Earth's core, an unknown world, our Earth on which we have been living for centuries, where we breathe and carry out activities all around the world. It's not just a ball of soil, rocks, and oceans. Thousands of kilometers beneath its surface, there's a hidden world that no human has ever seen. The Earth's core, the center of our planet, not only makes Earth what it is, but it's also the key to all its mysteries. But what is this core? Scientists divide it into two parts, the outer core and the inner core. Speaking of the outer core, it's like a liquid made of molten iron and nickel. Whereas the inner core is a solid, hot sphere whose temperature is even higher than the surface of the sun. But the question isn't what the core is. The real question is why it's so mysterious. Our technology has taken us to the moon, our machines are still roaming on Mars, but reaching the Earth's core is still just a dream. The deepest mine ever dug by humans is Russia's Kola Super Deep Borehole, which is only 12.3 kilometers deep. Reaching the core means traveling 6,371 kilometers. It's like we've just touched the surface of the ocean and started thinking that we've measured its depth. So how much and what do we really know about the core? And an even bigger question, do we really know as much as we think we do? Earth's magnetic field is an unsolved mystery. Did you know that right now, as you are watching all this, an invisible shield is protecting you and this planet from cosmic radiation and solar wind? This is Earth's magnetic field, and this is its source. Molten iron flowing in Earth's outer core. Scientists call this the geodynamo. Its process is so complicated that even supercomputers struggle to explain it. But there's a big mystery here. This magnetic field is not always stable. It keeps changing, gets weaker, and sometimes even completely reverses. Yes, that's right, Sana. Every few 100,000 years, Earth's magnetic field flips its north and south poles. This is called geomagnetic reversal. The last time this happened was about 780,000 years ago. But the question is, why does this happen, and when it does? What turmoil happens in the outer core? Some scientists believe that this reversal happens when the streams of liquid iron in the core become unstable. But the exact cause remains unknown. The question here is, what will happen if this happens again? Will our technology, our satellites, and our lives be able to withstand this change? Or will we have to live in a world where all the old compasses have become useless? The mystery of the inner core, a solid ball of fire. So let's dive even deeper now. After passing through the outer core, we will reach Earth's inner core, a solid ball burning at over 5,000 degrees Celsius. It is so hot that if it were on the surface, it would even melt steel. But under the earth, in this region, the pressure is so high that even at such high temperatures, the ball of iron and nickel remains solid. But do you know that understanding this inner core is not as easy as it seems? Recent seismic studies have made some very surprising revelations. The inner core is not just an ordinary sphere, there could be even smaller structures inside it. Some scientists call these the core within the core. And what's more, this inner core also rotates, but at a slightly different speed than the Earth's surface. This is called super rotation. Some scientists think this rotation makes the magnetic field more complex. Scientists are currently surprised that we have more questions about the inner core than we actually know about it. Even some basic questions are nothing less than a mystery to us. For example, what exactly is this super rotation? And if the speed of the inner core's rotation changes, will its effects also be seen on the Earth's surface? Can earthquakes, volcanoes, or other natural disasters be affected by this? We might not get answers to these questions in the near future. The birth of the core is an ancient mystery. Now for a moment, let's go back in time. About 4.5 billion years ago, when our Earth was born, scientists believe that the Earth's core was formed when the hot molten material of the Earth began to settle into different layers. Heavy elements like iron and nickel were drawn toward the center, forming the core. However, not everyone agrees on this point. Some scientists believe that the core was formed after a massive collision which gave birth to the Earth and the Moon. This is called the giant impact hypothesis. But the question here is, how did the core form so precisely that even today it maintains a perfect balance on Earth, and was the core always like this? Recent studies have shown that the inner core may not be as old as we think. Some scientists think it may be just 1 billion years old. So does this mean that the Earth's core is changing over time? And if so, what does its future hold? The core and humanity, an unknown threat. The Earth's core is not just a mystery for scientists, it is also connected to our very existence. The magnetic field, which is created by the core, protects us from solar radiation. If it gets weaker, the Earth will be nothing less than hell. Scientists have warned that the magnetic field has been weakening for the past few hundred years. In some areas, like the South Atlantic anomaly, it is already unusually weak. Is this the beginning of a new geomagnetic reversal? And if so, is it a warning sign for our future? It's not just about the magnetic field here. The activities in the core can also affect events like earthquakes and volcanoes on the Earth's surface. That's why there's always a fear that any major change in the core could bring disaster to the Earth's surface. The limits of science and the search for the future. Today, we have instruments like seismic waves, supercomputers, and satellites that can help us understand the mysteries of the core. But even then, we've only managed to scratch the surface. Reaching the core is still impossible today. Looking to the future, scientists believe that the immense energy present in the Earth's core could provide us with power for centuries. That's why we're trying to reach the Earth's core, but the path to get there still won't be easy. Will we ever be able to develop technology that brings us closer to the core, or will we have to rely only on assumptions and models? Some scientists believe that to understand the mysteries of the core, we will have to look towards space. Studying the cores of other planets like Mars and Mercury can give us new information about Earth's core. But the question is, will humanity ever see the day when we have solved all the mysteries of the core? Or will this mystery of our Earth remain buried forever and continue to challenge us like this? This is also a test for our human civilization. How much can we truly understand the universe that gave us life? Friends, today we explored a world that lies hidden beneath our feet, yet we are still completely unaware of it. The Earth's core, that ball of fire, that mysterious center, not only keeps our planet alive, but also keeps our curiosity alive. Every new discovery brings us closer to it, but at the same time, it also raises new questions. Will we ever be able to fully understand these mysteries, or will the Earth's core always remain an unsolved puzzle? On a cold night in 1609, Galileo Galilei is standing on the terrace of his house in a small town in Italy. In his hand, he holds a new telescope, which is truly nothing short of a miracle for the world of that time. And as soon as he turned that telescope towards the sky, his eyes saw something that changed human history forever. Among the shining stars, he saw Jupiter's 4 moons, a world beyond Earth, never seen with the naked eye. In that moment, Galileo not only observed the planets but also gave a new direction to humanity's questions. Is our sky so mysterious that it never reveals its secrets to us? But today, hundreds of years later, when we look at the same sky, one question keeps coming to our mind. If Galileo could see the planets with his simple telescope, then why can't we see the other planets from Earth with our naked eyes? The stars in the sky, which are light years away from us, appear to shine to us. But where do planets like Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn hide, which are in our own solar system? Is the sky deceiving us, or is the way we look at it wrong? So let's start today's. Let's embark on a journey to solve this mystery. First of all, it's important to understand that our sky is not an ordinary thing and it's not transparent like a car's windshield either. Rather, it's a vast, dynamic and complex cosmic stage where things work according to their own rules. In the morning, during the day and in the evening, this sky looks like a canvas as if nature has poured colors all over it. But as soon as night falls, it becomes as clear as glass and allows us to see the universe through it. We can see stars in thousands and millions, but the planets seem to disappear somewhere. But the reason for this is not the sky, but rather the limitations of our eyes and the nature of the planets as well. We'll talk about the sky in a little while. But you all must know that planets do not shine on their own like stars. Stars produce light because of the nuclear reactions happening inside them, like our sun, but planets only reflect the sun's light. That's why their brightness is less compared to stars. So since they shine less, they are also not easily visible. But wait a minute, actually this isn't the whole story. If that were the case, then we should be able to see some planets easily, like Mars, which is famous for its red color. So then, what's the real obstacle? Look, everything in the universe is in its place, and this place is determined by distance. Our Earth is just a small part of the solar system, and the other planets revolve around the sun in different orbits. For example, Mars, which is our neighbor in the solar system, it is on average about 225 million kilometers away from Earth. But this distance is not fixed either. When Earth and Mars are on the same side of the sun, this distance decreases to about 56 million kilometers. And we call this time opposition when Mars is closest to our Earth. Similarly, outer planets like Brihaspati and Shani are even farther away from us. The average distance of the Jupiter planet from Earth is 778 million kilometers, and the distance of the Shani planet is 1,427 million kilometers. And at such a distance, when these planets reflect the sunlight, that light becomes very weak by the time it reaches us. The planets look very faint to us, like a tiny point of light that's not easily visible to us, but the fact that we can't see the planets. Is distance the only reason for this? Not at all. If that were the case, we would never be able to see the planets. The truth is, under certain conditions, we can see the planets. When and how should we view the planets? Do you know that some planets like Budh, Shukra, Mangal, Brihaspati, and Shani can be seen with the naked eye? Yes, absolutely, you won't believe it. But humans have been observing these 5 planets since ancient times. They have always been able to see them without any telescope. But it's important to have the right time and the right place to see them. For example, Venus, which we call the evening star or the morning star. It appears in the west after sunset or in the east before sunrise. It is so bright that it can be seen easily. It's our environment and habits. It's no secret that today, by spreading pollution everywhere on this earth, we have brought it to the brink of destruction. Nowadays, most people live in cities. They must be seeing a hazy sky and stars. But is it that clear? Due to light pollution, dimmer objects like planets disappear from our sight. If you go to a village or a hilly area where there is less artificial light, you can see planets along with stars in the sky. So, in a way, we can also see the glow of colors of these planets. We can see them like Mars's red color and Jupiter's light yellow. Our atmosphere is also a major reason why we can't see the planets easily. Earth's atmosphere acts as a kind of filter. It bends and scatters the sunlight, and that's why we see the sky as blue during the day. But this same atmosphere also makes it difficult to see planets at night. The dust, moisture, and other particles present in the atmosphere further weaken the reflected sunlight coming from the planets. Additionally, if the weather is bad, with clouds, haze, or fog, seeing the planets becomes even harder. Because of the atmosphere, the light from the stars that shine less gets scattered within the atmosphere itself. It doesn't reach our eyes at all. That's why we see fewer stars. We can see planets through the atmosphere, but for that, we have to go to the right place. Far from the hustle and bustle of your city, where there's no light pollution and no air pollution. From there, you'll even be able to see the faint light of the planets. The atmosphere is the main reason why we can barely see even the brightest things. Or you could say that the atmosphere is the main reason for this. Because of this, we can only see things that are extremely bright. Also, planets don't remain in one place. They revolve around the sun in their orbits, and the Earth is also moving in its own orbit. That's why the positions of the planets in the sky keep changing all the time. For example, if you want to see Mars tonight, you need to know which part of the sky it is in. You can get this information from a star chart or an astronomy app. But sometimes planets are so close to the sun that their brightness gets overshadowed by the sun's light. This is called conjunction, when it's nearly impossible to see the planets. But when they are close to the Earth, like during opposition, their brightness increases even more and it becomes easier to see them. So the position of the planets also determines whether we will be able to see them or not. In ancient times, our ancestors observed the planets without any telescopes and also understood their motion. In Indian astrology, the planets were worshipped as the Navagraha. Budh, Shukra, Mangal, Brihaspati and Shani planets. We observe them with the naked eye, binoculars, telescopes and spacecraft. Still, seeing the planets with the naked eye is a unique experience. It connects us to the curiosity of ancient human civilization, when humans first looked at the sky and perhaps wondered if there was another world out there. The art of observing planets. If you also want to observe planets, you will need to follow some basic steps. The best time to observe planets is right after sunset or just before sunrise. Especially for observing Venus, which is visible in the morning and evening. Far from the cities, go to a dark place. Mountains, villages, or deserts are the best for astro camping. Number 3, understand the sky. And number 5, wait for clear weather. Clouds or fog can obstruct your view of the planets. Choose a clear night or clear sky to observe the planets. And that's it. You'll definitely be able to see the planets. Our Earth is just a small part of the solar system, but it connects us to the infinite mysteries of the universe. The reason we can't see the planets isn't just distance, light, pollution, or the atmosphere. It's also our lack of curiosity. Today, we are so busy that we've forgotten to look up at the sky. Today, our homes have concrete roofs. Today, we don't like sleeping under the open sky like we used to. But if we pause for a moment and look at the night sky, maybe we'll see the same brilliance that Galileo saw hundreds of years ago. Every planet, whether it's Mars, Jupiter, or Saturn, tells a story. They try to tell us the deep mysteries of this universe in their own language. So next time you go out at night, make sure to look up at the sky. Maybe a planet will call you with its shine, and you will become a part of that mysterious world, which is outside our Earth. When we look at the sky, we don't just see stars or planets. We also see that infinite possibility, which reminds us that we are a small but important part of this universe. We exist on this Earth, this is our Earth, and the biggest fact is that so far, apart from this Earth, neither has life been found anywhere else in this solar system nor on any other planet in this universe. And it's true that we don't know whether we'll ever be able to find life anywhere or not. At the moment, we don't know why life began only on Earth. Billions of years ago, life began on Earth under mysterious circumstances. If we talk about fossils, the oldest fossil we have found, this tells us that life on Earth began about 3.5 billion years ago. Afterward, time passed. The life that originated on Earth also evolved from single cell to multicellular, and then, over time, its structure became more complex. Meanwhile, that life witnessed many stages on Earth, changing eras, and the transforming face of the planet. As well on Earth, while on Earth, that life only didn't just see this. While living on Earth, many big tsunamis, waves, volcanoes erupting everywhere, droughts could be seen far and wide, ice sheets, destruction, and mass extinction. Life endured them all. Many species came and disappeared in these mass extinctions, but every time some species survived, they brought the train of life back on track again. But those mass extinctions gave rise to life on Earth. Till now, about 99% of species have gone extinct. We should congratulate ourselves that we are also part of that early life, but somehow we survived. We are still alive today. We are among that 1% who have faced every disaster of nature, and maybe we should be thankful. Of rats and lizards, whose ancestors survived last, managed to survive the mass extinction, and thanks to whom we are here today. These mass extinctions tell us about the progress of life on Earth, about how life began to adapt itself on this planet. These events caused some species to go extinct, completely closed the path of survival for some, while opening new paths for others. Till now, we have only been able to track 5 mass extinctions in Earth's history. And in today's video, we will learn about those 5 mass extinctions. Around 443 million years ago, Earth was in the Ordovician period. There was still no sign of life on the surface of the Earth. All life existed only in the oceans. Mollusks and other simple creatures with hard shells like trilobites were ruling the oceans. A fossil of a jawed fish from that time has also been found, and by the end of this period, plants and trees also appeared on the surface of the Earth. But all this did not last for long. If we look at the structure of the Earth at that time, it was the period when almost the entire surface of the Earth was towards the southern hemisphere. According to a hypothesis, the ocean waves started to change, the weather changed, and the entire southern hemisphere got covered under a sheet of ice. As the ice kept increasing, species on Earth kept dying. They couldn't survive the changes in the environment and perished. There were some species, however, that adapted to those cold and dry conditions, but this was just the beginning of the extinction. New species evolved according to this cold environment, which were made to survive in these cold conditions. But just as they were about to establish their dominance, the environment changed once again, and the ice that covered the entire hemisphere melted in no time. The survivors from before died this time, some drowned in the water. The increasing heat on Earth was so unbearable for some species that they soon became extinct as well. Some just didn't survive this ordeal. They couldn't withstand the sudden changes. And in this way, about 85% of the marine life present on Earth at that time was wiped out during the Ordovician extinction. However, how did the southern hemisphere suddenly become so cold at that time? After all, what were the forces that triggered this mass extinction? This is still a topic of debate today. Some theories suggest that it started due to rock weathering, that is, the dissolving of rocks, meteor showers, or even gamma ray bursts. But the problem with proving all these things is that all these events happened around 443 million years ago. Since then, due to tectonic activity and the shifting of continents, all the evidence has been erased. The ocean floors we see today are not more than 50 million years old. But even from here, many marine creatures survived. Were able to survive, and they got a long period in the future to thrive and flourish. After this came the second mass extinction on Earth in the Ordovician period, about 370–369 million years ago. As we know, in the Ordovician period, plants and vegetation had started to appear in their early forms. After this, in the Devonian period, that vegetation began to develop further. Plants came onto the surface of the Earth and they started producing seeds so that they could propagate their species. After coming out of the water and onto land, plants also began to develop an inner vascular system to store water. However, these plants had not yet encountered any land herbivores. And this was the reason their growth kept increasing continuously. It is believed that this explosive growth significantly reduced the levels of carbon monoxide too in the atmosphere at that time, which resulted in a global cooling effect. The extinction in the Devonian period began towards the end of this period, and there were two main events in this entire extinction event, which wiped out the majority of the population present on Earth. It started about 372 million years ago, when the growth of plants and insects on Earth was happening very rapidly. But a large part of life still lived underwater in the oceans. But then the environment started to change, and conditions became so bad that about 50% of the population living in the oceans was wiped out. The first extinction event is known as the Calvasair event. However, by that time, vertebrates had also appeared in the oceans, meaning creatures that have a backbone, but this event didn't really affect the vertebrates much. But apart from this, the vertebrate life that existed in the oceans. During this time, they were on the verge of extinction and the coral reefs had completely disappeared, but this was just the beginning of this extinction. Right now, we don't have any concrete information about how all this started. There are definitely differing opinions among scientists about this. Some scientists believe that this great catastrophe began due to a lack of oxygen in the atmosphere. Now, there are some solid reasons behind believing this. During the Devonian period, trees, plants, fungi, and other vegetation rapidly developed. At that time, there was no one in the food chain to eat them. So these plants that were 30 centimeters tall reached up to 30 meters as their height increased. They evolved vascular systems, complex branches to make more food, large trunks to store water, and root systems as well. They had spread almost everywhere on Earth wherever the conditions were favorable for them, but suddenly their growth reduced the nutrients in the river water. The creatures there weren't used to this and they started suffocating and dying. Also, the ones that died began to decompose. The bodies were also consuming oxygen, and this started a chain reaction that deeply affected almost all marine life. Apart from this, During this mass extinction, sea levels rose several times, which wiped out a large amount of biodiversity. Some scientists believe that geological cooling was a major reason behind this event. Trees and plants growing on land caused atmospheric carbon dioxide to drop sharply. Because of this, the entire Earth entered an ice age, and the species that couldn't survive this cold became extinct. Meanwhile, some scientists believe that at that time, our Earth was volcanically very active. This mass extinction was triggered by a major volcanic event. Besides this, there are many other hypotheses about this event. Some say that it was because of an impact event. It could also have happened because of this, like a large asteroid might have collided, because of which the conditions might have changed, while some point towards a massive supernova explosion. Climate change and tectonic events are also included in this, but even then, we don't have any solid evidence to prove them right. But after this, the second wave of this mass extinction comes, which was far more dangerous than the previous one. This is called the Hungebug event, and it is also known as the End Devonian extinction, because after this, the Devonian period ended, and along with it, almost all the species present on Earth as well. This second wave badly affected the creatures and plants living in the sea and on land at that time. The End Devonian event happened 369 million years ago, but we also don't know how it started. Scientists in Europe discovered a 32-mile-wide impact crater formed during the same period. This suggests that possibly there was a major meteor strike at that time. This may have triggered the mass extinction. At the same time, a group of researchers also claims that this was not an extinction event. Rather, it was a period when life kept dying its natural death continuously. And at that time, due to the slow rate of evolution, new species couldn't add to biodiversity, or maybe that period just wasn't suitable for new species, so this extinction also passed by. Once again, the Earth remained lifeless for millions of years. Just like that, for those who had survived this great catastrophe, this was the perfect time for them to grow. Slowly, many small and large species started to emerge which had survived during this period. They started to carry life forward, but this new Earth had only 100 million years for evolution. This time also passed quickly, and about 252 million years ago from today, this Earth faced the most brutal mass extinction. This was truly the most terrifying. It wiped out almost everything living on Earth. Some scientists believe that about 96% of the species living in the oceans became extinct. About 70% of the creatures living on land were killed in this mass extinction. Until that time, there used to be a huge population of insects on Earth, but during this mass extinction, the highest number of species that went extinct were insects. And that's why this extinction event is also known as the extinction of insects. Apart from this, plants on the surface also disappeared, and many types of animals became completely extinct. We still find their fossils under the earth like this even today. At this time, the Earth's supercontinent Pangaea had also started breaking up into different continents. It had, and at that time, amphibians, early reptiles, and giant flying insects used to rule the land. Why did the Permian-Triassic event occur? We still don't fully understand its cause. The species that died in this event are buried so deep underground, and because of the breaking apart of the continents, they are so scattered that it's very difficult to find out anything properly. Research shows that this event lasted for about 1 million years, and during this time, scientists found many such things. Many such changes were found that could have wiped out species on a large scale, but even among them, we couldn't reach any precise single cause. There was a huge carbon isotope shift in the Earth's atmosphere. There were massive volcanic eruptions in the regions of modern China and Siberia. There is also evidence of massive fires in the coal beds. Apart from this, the increase in the population of small organisms changed the environment, and many changes were also seen in metabolic processes. It is believed that one or more of these events together completely changed the state of life on Earth. This event caused a lot of damage to life on Earth. It took life millions of years to recover from this. But in the end, Earth became inhabited again, with some old and some new creatures starting to live their lives here once more. And some like this. This great catastrophe was also recorded in history forever. But the history recorded in the layers of the Earth is not limited to just this. Our Earth has witnessed 5 major mass extinctions where life almost reached the brink of extinction, but evolution never looked back. After each extinction event, some new species got the chance to emerge, and the cycle of life on Earth continued. Roughly 200 million years ago, Earth experienced its 4th major mass extinction. After the Triassic period, large reptiles like crocodiles, also known as archosaurs, were dominating the food chain. This Triassic extinction was not a single event, but rather occurred over a large time scale of 18 million years. There were some minor events that caused almost half of the population present on Earth at that time to die. Dinosaurs evolved in the Jurassic period only after Archosaurus went extinct. Those who survived this catastrophe evolved further to become dinosaurs, and some of them started flying in the sky as birds. Now, Earth's life cycle runs 24 hours a day. Some hunted during the daylight, while others ambushed at night to arrange food for themselves. By this time, life on Earth had become a complex process. However, there were several reasons behind the Triassic extinction. There could be several reasons. One possibility is volcanic activity on Earth during that time. There is evidence of floods from that time in some areas of Central America, a flood that submerged a large region of the Earth underwater. Due to major volcanic eruptions, large amounts of sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide had entered the atmosphere, which had severely affected the global climate. Volcanic activities and the climate change triggered by them proved to be completely disastrous for life on Earth. Sea levels changed. The salty water of the ocean became acidic, making survival almost impossible. Apart from this, there's also the cosmic impact theory. Here, we often hear that it's possible that a meteor collided with the Earth which caused this mass extinction. Apart from this, some scientists also believe that maybe there wasn't any major impact or natural disaster during this mass extinction, and it's possible that just like the Devonian extinction, this time too, evolution and life on Earth couldn't grow as quickly as the rate at which living beings were dying due to natural death. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that their deaths outnumbered their births. And because of this, maybe this mass extinction became so significant, but this extinction didn't bring a major setback for life. Because after this, the largest land animals ever were about to rule the Earth. Yes, after this great extinction, during the Jurassic period, dinosaurs established their rule over the Earth. Some of the largest aquatic creatures ruled the waters. In the sky, the birds at the top of the food chain hovered like death, spreading terror over life. This is the Jurassic period, which most of us are familiar with. But the end of this world was inevitable too. Different species of dinosaurs ruled this Earth for about 50 to 100 million years in their time. But when the end of this reign approached, evolution was at its peak. This era of the Earth is called the Cretaceous period, and this extinction is also known as the Cretaceous Tertiary Mass Extinction or Cretaceous Tertiary Mass Extinction. By this time, life and diversity on Earth had completely given the planet a new form. But here, unlike the other extinction events, we know precisely when and how this extinction actually began. About 65 million years ago, a 10-kilometer wide object collided with the Earth. A golden and peaceful day was suddenly filled with flames, fire raining from the sky, and bodies lying on the ground. On that single day, about 80% of the dinosaurs became victims of extinction, and many other species also disappeared from the Earth forever. It is estimated that about 75% of the population living on Earth was wiped out because of that mass extinction. The evidence of this mass extinction still exists today near the Chicxulub crater in Mexico. Some species became extinct due to the climate change that followed this event. After this impact, there was devastation all over the earth, and poisonous gases had mixed into the air. The tsunami wiped out marine life, but the greatest loss from this catastrophe was suffered by the creatures living on land. Dust and dirt kept swirling in the sky for hundreds of years to come. Due to the lack of sunlight, an ice age came to the earth, but the creatures that were small and could withstand the cold survived. Only those who learned to survive with less food and less oxygen made it. Generations saw the rising sun on this earth, and once again, species playing the game of life and death spread across the land. And evolution did its job perfectly. The creatures that once hid in burrows to save their lives, some of them now rule the earth and are smiling while watching this video, while some have worry on their faces. After all, this journey of life was truly full of upheavals. We really are indebted to our ancestors. But this time, how long will this journey of life last? So when will the 6th mass extinction happen? Well, these things really make us think. Friends, what are your thoughts? Do let us know in the comment section about this topic. If you like this video, then make sure to like it and share it with your friends as well. For more such videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and enable the bell notification.